Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 4 of August 2024. A plan to divide the Murugappa group equally among 3 family groups that's been over 2 years in the making has got stuck. The Murugappa Chettiar family had been negotiating an amicable split of the diversified business empire with over $9 billion in revenue in financial year 23 after 5 generations of working together over more than a century. The much celebrated turnaround of CG Power within 4 years of its takeover by group company Tube Investments of India has become a key bone of contention among different family groups that make up the promoter group. In fiscal 2024, Apple Inc. achieved a business value exceeding Rs 2 lakh crore in India, driven by increased iPhone exports and domestic sales of products like MacBooks, iPads and watches. Apple's growth is notable for its rapid expansion in production and exports, likely the fastest by any company in India in the past 50 years. Key factors include leveraging the production-linked incentive scheme, strategically choosing manufacturing locations in South India, and enhancing sales through revamped distribution strategies and premiumization of products. FMCG firms reported rural demand resurgence and strong e-commerce growth, especially through quick commerce in the June quarter. Companies like HUL, ITC and Dabur, despite high food inflation, are optimistic about future growth due to favorable monsoons and government policies boosting the rural economy. Traditional urban channels showed some slowdown. The Central Board of Direct Taxes has issued a directive to the Income Tax Department emphasizing the need for non-intrusive monitoring of rampant cash transactions in sectors such as hotels, luxury brand sales, hospitals, and IVF clinics. This move comes as part of the CBDT's Central Action Plan 2024-25, which aims to curb tax evasion and improve compliance in high-cash industries. The Finance Ministry is set to review the goods and services tax rates applied to digital news subscriptions. This decision follows a recommendation from the Information and Broadcasting Ministry to lower the GST rate on digital news subscriptions from the current 18% to 5%. Shapoorji Pallonji Group has formed a new holding company, Shapoorji Pallonji Real Estate, to consolidate its real estate holdings across key cities. The company aims to unlock value, streamline operations, and monetize its portfolio of land parcels spread over 2,000 acres across key property markets. The assets are estimated to be worth around $6 billion. The holding company covers 45 land parcels and projects with a total development potential of around 140 million square feet. Car makers and their dealers are battling each other over inventory levels amid slowing demand. The Federation of Automobile Dealers Associations says their members are carrying stock equivalent to over 2 months of sales, that is 730,000 units. Car makers argue it's about half that, 400,000 to 410,000 units. The Federation of Automobile Dealers Association has written to the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers twice in less than 2 months, protesting at stock being dumped on dealers. The IBBI has notified the IBBI Inspection and Investigation Amendment Regulations 2024. An amendment has been made to Regulation 13, subsection 2. As per the amended norms, the disciplinary committee must now endeavour to dispose of the show cause notice within a period of 60 days from the due date for receipt of the reply to the show cause notice. Earlier, The time period was of 35 days from the date of the issuance of the show cause notice. The IBBI has notified the IBBI Information Utilities Amendment Regulations 2024. A new Regulation 21A has been inserted, which mandates information utilities to verify key details such as the email address of the debtor or document showing proof of debt, the latest acknowledgement of the debt by the debtor, and proof of default before issuing a record of default in Form D. An information utility means a person who is registered with the board as an information utility under Section 210 of IBC. Further, if a debtor disputes a part of the default amount or the entire default amount, such debtor must provide the reasons for such dispute and upload the evidence for the same. MCA has notified companies Indian Accounting Standards Amendment Rules 2024. As per the amended norms, a new Ind AS 117 relating to insurance contracts has been inserted. Ind AS 117 establishes principles for recognizing, measuring, presenting, and disclosing insurance contracts. The objective is to ensure that an entity provides relevant information that faithfully represents those contracts. An entity must apply Ind AS 117 to insurance, reinsurance, and investment contracts. Indian companies will soon be able to raise funds quicker through right issues, and promoters will be able to renounce their rights entitlement in favor of a select investor. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has proposed several changes to make rights issue a preferred mode of fundraising. The regulator has suggested doing away with filing a draft letter of offer with it for observation. It would also dispense with the requirement of appointment of merchant bankers and reduce the timeline to 20 days from the board approving a rights issue until the date of closure of the exercise. At present, non-fast track right issue take an average of 317 days to complete the process, while fast track right issues take about 126 days. Foreign banks operating in India have requested the RBI to extend the compliance deadline for the 2018 data localization guidelines to January 2025. These guidelines require that all payment system data related to Indian customers be stored exclusively within India. The banks have already started complying with the rules for new transactions but face challenges in moving or deleting historical data stored abroad. Reserve Bank of India's approval for IndusInd Bank to establish a wholly owned asset management company could be a precedent for other banks to create similar para-banking subsidiaries. This move follows previous RBI decisions allowing HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank to increase stakes in their insurance subsidiaries. The National Financial Reporting Authority, or NFRA, has barred Arvind Maya, former partner at BSR & Co. and current CEO of Embassy REIT, from practicing as an auditor for 10 years. Additionally, Maya has been fined Rs 50 lakh. The NFRA also imposed a hefty Rs 10 crore penalty on BSR & Co., an affiliate of KPMG, in connection with the fraudulent activities at Cafe Coffee Day. The NFRA's stern action follows its investigation into the fraud involving CCD, which was revealed in 2022. The authority's scrutiny was triggered by information from SEBI about the misappropriation of Rs 3,535 crore from 7 CCD subsidiaries to Mysore Amalgamated Coffee Estate, a promoter-controlled entity. The investigation concluded that BSR & Co., which audited CCD's financial statements for the fiscal year ending March 31, 2019, failed to report the fraudulent diversion of funds and did not exercise due diligence. Amit Somani, another partner at BSR & Co., has also been barred from practicing for 5 years and fined Rs 25 lakh. NFRA found both the audit firm and its partners guilty of significant professional misconduct. Jewelry retailer Bluestone has closed a rupees 900 crore financing round that more than doubles the IPO-bound firm's valuation to $970 million or rupees 8,100 crore. The Axel-backed firm is now set to file the draft red herring prospectus for its initial public offering with the stock market regulator this calendar year, after having closed the pre-IPO round to set the valuation benchmark. The Central Board of Direct Taxes has unveiled a rigorous central action plan for this fiscal year 24-25, targeting sectors notorious for high cash transactions that are frequently underreported or unreported. This strategic initiative focuses on key areas including IVF clinics, luxury retailers, hotels, and medical colleges, all of which are identified as significant sources of evasion in reporting cash transactions exceeding rupees 2 lakh. In a significant ruling, the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, Mumbai bench, has provided relief to taxpayers by stating that penalties for income concealment cannot be imposed if a taxpayer has corrected all errors in a revised tax return. This ruling, according to tax experts, could benefit many taxpayers who may inadvertently omit or misreport income, as current penalty provisions are stringent, often leading to substantial financial penalties. Zomato to acquire the movie and events ticketing business of Paytm for rupees 2,048 crore, digital payments firm said in an exchange filing on Wednesday. The company said that it will now focus on strengthening the core payments and financial services distribution. Earlier, SEBI amended the Alternative Investment Funds or AIF regulations to provide flexibility to venture capital funds registered under the erstwhile SEBI Venture Capital Funds Regulations 1996 to migrate to AIF regulations. An application for seeking registration as a migrated venture capital fund must be made to SEBI, along with the original certificate of registration and requisite information in the format notified via the present circular. This circular shall come into force with immediate effect. The largest foreign direct investment proposal in financial services in the country, involving the biggest banks in Japan and India by market capitalization, is now dead. The board of HDFC Bank on Wednesday rejected a proposal of $2 billion purchase of a 20% stake in non-banking subsidiary HDB Financial Services by Japan's Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group, the world's second largest bank holding company. Instead, the board endorsed a plan to proceed with HDB's listing to comply with the Reserve Bank of India's regulations. Adani Power Limited's resolution plan to acquire Lanco's Amarkantak Power Limited has been approved by the Hyderabad bench of NCLT. Adani Power intends to pay rupees 4,101 crore to take over the distressed company, which has admitted liabilities of rupees 15,633 crore. Lenders to the bankrupt airline Go First have enlisted Burford Capital, a US-based litigation finance firm, to support their arbitration case against engine manufacturer Pratt & Whitney. The creditors' committee has approved a first tranche payment of $20 million from Burford. Go First is claiming $1.5 billion in compensation at the Singapore Court of Arbitration, attributing its bankruptcy to Pratt & Whitney's engine failures. Although litigation finance is common in parts of the world, it remains relatively unknown in India. Go First owes around rupees 4,000 crore to major banks while also holding a valuable land parcel as collateral. Book My Show, the leader in India's entertainment ticketing market, could face intense competition from Zomato, which is acquiring Paytm's ticketing business for rupees 2,048 crore and plans to build it into company's third main consumer vertical. Book My Show, which posted nearly rupees 1000 crore in fiscal 2023 revenue and is profitable, will try to protect its market share by using its clout with suppliers and other stakeholders and leveraging exclusive contracts with multiplex chains, event organizers, sporting bodies, artists, and theatre companies, among others. SEBI has issued a new cybersecurity and cyber resilience framework for regulated entities. The framework is broadly based on two approaches: cybersecurity and cyber resilience. The cybersecurity approach covers various aspects from governance measures to operational controls, and the cyber resilience goals, including anticipating, withstanding, containing, recovering, and evolving. This framework will supersede the previous cybersecurity circulars and guidelines for SEBI-regulated entities. The Directorate General of Goods and Services Tax Intelligence has dropped a tax demand of about Rs 3,000 crore for 2017-18 against 18 foreign shipping companies operating in the country. The move brings cheer to foreign shipping lines who are facing notices for non-payment of goods and services tax on import of services from July 2017 onwards. The tax demand was dropped after the shipping companies gave a joint undertaking that there was no import of services in 2017-18. However, the tax demand for subsequent years will stay. The United States emerged as India's leading trading partner in early 2024, although the country experienced a record trade deficit of $41.6 billion with China. India's merchandise exports increased by 5.41%, led by sectors such as iron ore and pharmaceuticals, while services exports grew by 6.9% to $178.2 billion. In a landmark ruling, the SEBI has barred industrialist Anil Ambani and 24 other entities from participating in the securities market for 5 years. The action comes after SEBI uncovered a fraudulent scheme involving the diversion of funds from Reliance Home Finance Limited. Anil Ambani, along with key managerial person of Reliance Home Finance Limited, were found guilty of executing a complex scheme to siphon off funds from the company. SEBI has imposed a penalty of Rs 25 crore on Ambani and has also prohibited him from holding any directorial or managerial roles in the listed companies or any intermediaries registered with SEBI for 5 years. In addition, Reliance Home Finance itself has been barred from the securities market for 6 months and fined Rs 6 lakh. SEBI has notified an amendment to the SEBI Research Analyst Regulations 2014. A new Regulation 15A pertaining to fees has been inserted. As per the newly inserted norms, a research analyst must be entitled to charge fees for providing research services from a client, including an accredited investor, in the manner as specified by the board. These amended norms shall come into force from the date of their publication in the official gazette, that is August 19, 2024. The Audit Quality Maturity Model, or AQMM, is a cross-functional evaluation model developed with an objective to enable audit firms to evaluate their current level of audit maturity and also to identify areas where competencies needs to be strengthened. Earlier on 12th July 2024, the ICAI released a notification wherein it asked its members to provide their feedback on the exposure draft of this second version of AQMM. Considering all those feedback, the Council of ICAI has now, through its announcement dated 22nd August 2024, approved the AQMM version 2. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.